This looks like a job for Superman.
Hey everybody, Rez the Collector here, and this is my second take at this review. I already filmed this once earlier this week, actually the day I got the statue, and my iPhone decided to just not cooperate with me at all. It was a very long review. I don't know if this was going to be anywhere near the length of the first one was. It was like half an hour, but I was also completely freaking out and geeking out that day because I had just got the statue, and you know when you get a new statue and you're all like, yes, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, let me look at it, it's great, isn't it? And if you can also tell, I have been sick this week, which is why I sound a little bit different than normal. And I may have to catch my breath. I apologize for that. I finally made it back down into the collection room today. I haven't even been coming down here. Basically just been kind of sitting upstairs and watching random stuff on YouTube or random movies just to keep myself occupied and trying not to, wish to die, as we all often do when we have a cold or the flu or what have you. But I really wanted to get this film because I have been greatly slacking on my reviews, and I am aware of that. And I do need to get everything going. I've got some pieces actually off here on the right, ready to be reviewed. There's 3 pieces waiting, and then one that's an interaction piece to go with one of them. But what we're here to talk about is the Sideshow Collectibles premium format Superman statue. Now, they have, as far as I'm aware, at least 3 premium format Superman statues. 2 are released, and 1 is not quite yet. Though I think it may have shipped. Not to me, I didn't purchase it, but to some of my friends. And that is the Man of Steel premium format, the Christopher Reeve premium format. The Man of Steel is of course released. The Reeve is shipping soon, I believe, to those that purchased it. And then of course the, I guess, comic book version is what you'd want to call this one. Now this, of course, being the one that's in front of you, is the one that I purchased, and in my opinion is the best of the lot. You have a very classic look for Superman in this one. Of course, the Christopher Reeve S is very, I've heard it called sloppy, and I guess you could say that very stylistic, I guess you could say, whereas this has the very standard S, and of course the Man of Steel is going to be based off of the Man of Steel movie. As you can see, this is a very, very large statue, and I'm actually at the height of my tripod here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and back this up so that we can get a better look at this guy. And I don't have anywhere lower to really do this review. This is pretty much the lowest point in the room I have, unless I did it like directly in the display case. I want to tell you that after I did the review and then I put this guy in the display case and I got everything set up the way I wanted it, and then I had to get it out today, and it was not fun having to get this guy out of the display case because I had to move everything out of the way, get him out, and this is not a very light statue. This is a very heavy statue, and he's huge. So let's just try and pan down. Oh, hey, look, we got a lot better color there. So yeah, he was a pain to get out of the case today, and I'll show you at the end of the video. I'll show you where he is and how he's set up. So let's just pan back even more, and we lost that vibrant color. See if we can get that back a little bit better. And you can see up here, there in that region. There we go. Get my big fat hand in there. That is the box that he came in, and that in and of itself was massive. And I don't know. These things go through, they get shipped by UPS or what have you. I would find it hard being a collector, and it's not like these are shipped in, like plain brown boxes or anything, like it's porn or something, but, it says exactly what it is on the outside of the box. And you gotta imagine being a collector or somebody who like works at one of these places and sees this go by and is just like, oh, why is that not mine? But, okay, I'm getting a little off track. It's probably the cold medicine. Let me see if I can pan down a little bit more here. Get a little bit more of the statue in there, and there's that vibrant color again. I do, of course, film on my iPhone, so that does limit me in some ways, but it also makes it much easier to do some other things. Let's go back even more. As you can see here, I'm going to go back farther and farther, just trying to get, I want to back up into my case and accidentally break something, just to try and get this guy into frame. Okay, so this is the best we're going to get from right here. I'll pan down, we'll take a look at the base, and then I'll probably go and move in closer so I can move the statue around. Now, of course, he is a statue. It is just a static piece. There's no movement on him. He comes in 4 parts, and of course there is an exclusive version of this statue, and that is a second head with a couple of different variations with heat vision. I did not purchase the exclusive version. Of course, the exclusive version for this went on sale a long time ago, and of course it still can be purchased by a secondary market such as eBay, but you're going to pay a lot for it. I mean, just a lot. People are just gouging that thing just for an extra head, you know, like $300–400 more just for that separate head with heat vision. Now, if they get it, if somebody wants to pay it, more power to them, but that's not something I'm going to do. So mine came in 4 pieces: the base, the body, the head, and the cape. The cape was one of the heaviest pieces, and they balanced the statue fairly well. Well, not fairly, but they balanced it very well. Between the base, the body, and the cape, to make sure that this thing isn't going to tip over, which would be terrible because that cape would shatter, smash. I mean, that thing would, I don't even want to imagine that. I don't even want to think about that. The cape is one of the things that people had the hardest times with, because you had to, of course, you're going to put the body on the base, and then you had to put the head in before you put the cape on. And a lot of people with this statue actually ended up with red marks on the side of the neck because the way you kind of put the cape on and then rotate it onto him, they accidentally rotated it and kind of scraped the side of the neck and left red marks there. And I know a lot of people were really unhappy. Unfortunately, I mean, those of us that got the statue later were able to learn from what they had done. And I took the Sideshow Collectibles 1/6 scale Superman that just came out, came with 2 capes, and I actually took the more silky of the 2 capes and used that as my my covering for the neck when I slid this cape on, and then because it was a nice silky material, it just kind of slid right out. There was a moment where it almost made it sound like it was going to tear, and I was like, but no, it didn't happen. You couldn't even hear the gaff sound because my throat just wouldn't make it. But I got the cape on, and then just looking at the statue itself, it's just amazing to sit there and see and to know the size comparison. I mean, because you're seeing this here, and you're seeing my review space, and you're seeing how big of a mess my office is, and you're seeing some of my other projects like the Doomsday down there. That is actually another one of the pieces that's coming up for review, and I'm behind my review space right now. I've got a bunch of stuff that I've been selling, which has actually helped me to purchase this statue, because I sold a lot of my non-Superman collection, and I reorganized the collection room mostly so that I could just display my Superman stuff, and then, like I said, a lot of it, the other stuff I've sold off. Now, there's a certain amount of pieces that I have kept, but I'll discuss that in a future collection video. I'm kind of, again, getting off track, guys. I apologize. It's been a while since I've done a review, so I'm trying to throw as much information out there at you guys as possible so you know what's been going on with me. But I do want to talk about the statue, because that's why you're watching this, because of the statue. It's a fantastic piece. There's not, I don't know what I said in my other video that made it half an hour long. We're going to, of course, take some closer looks at the statue itself. But there's no way I could have put this thing on a rotating base or anything, because it weighs like 20-some pounds. It is, like I said, a fantastic piece. The box does have that big, beautiful S on it, and anybody who knows me knows I display my boxes. As you can see over here, some Doomsday boxes and some Kotobukiya boxes. But I'm going to go ahead and pan down. Let's take a look at the base. Now the base, and that's obviously not tight. Nice view of my old Xbox 360 over there. The base is, of course, kind of based off of the Donner Superman fortress look with that raised up crystal. So they did kind of go with that. I'm trying to remember the classic era Superman. What his fortress was, the big ice one with the key, but it didn't have the big ice spires like the Christopher Reeve one did. So they did incorporate that a little bit, but you can see how big that base is. And if you can see that Doomsday over there on the right, that's actually the Mattel Unleashed Doomsday, and you can see how small he is compared to the Superman statue. I mean, it's just an amazing comparison. You really get a feel for how big this guy is. So you got a nice close-up look at the base, and yeah, that is not tight. I'm gonna have to fix that. I'm gonna fix that real quick, so I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Got that little issue solved. The little piece I have that specially is made to hold my iPhone onto the tripod was loose, so got that fixed. Now, I want to go ahead and take a look at a size comparison so you really get a feel of how large this guy really is. And I think at the end, really, when you see it in the display case, I had to take a shelf out of the big display case in order for him to fit. And luckily that I had sold a bunch of stuff, my non-Superman stuff, not all of it. I still have a lot of my loose stuff, but I did sell quite a bit of loose stuff. I actually sold, I would say, probably more loose than I did my in package. Anyway, I was able to, in the smaller cabinet, do a Superman shelf in there, and then basically take a shelf out of the large cabinet in order to get him to fit in there. But let's take a look at the size comparison. So this, of course, you can see is a statue. That's the top of my review space. Basically, this is just a tri-folding, cheap Walmart board thing that I purchased. Now, one of the other things I had that's coming up for review that I've had for quite a while, and I apologize I have not reviewed it, it was actually a birthday gift from Stuart Murray. If you have never seen his channel, and if you're viewing my channel, you've seen his and probably everybody else's before you got to the bottom of the barrel with me. You know that he is a huge Superman collector. Well, he knew I had this piece mint on card, but it's a piece that I'd always wanted loose. And he got his hands on a slew of them and sent me one of them. And it was a really, really kind gesture. I really appreciate it. I haven't had time to review it. It's just been kind of sitting here. Great, amazing piece. Probably one of the, in my opinion, one of the best Superman figures out there. Now let's take a look at that size comparison. There he is. That is the Justice League Classic Icons Superman, and he is, if I get on level with him, he's about an inch shorter than the base. So he's not even to the boot. He's not. Let's see if we can get to. Yeah, look at that. About an inch shorter than the base itself. He doesn't even reach the big statue's boot. I mean, he's basically like. It's like mini-me, I guess, for Superman. And then even if you take a larger figure, just to give you another size comparison. Sorry, I know this is getting a little shaky while I'm trying to grab things here. But here is the Unleashed Doomsday, which I also need to review. But he barely comes up to, like, the shin, and that's hair. Basically, his head comes up to the ankle. I mean, that's... Just to imagine the size of this guy when this huge, massive figure, basically the top of his head, not counting the hair, basically comes to the statue's ankle. It's such a massive, massive piece. And Stuart, that is going to get reviewed. It has been sitting here next to my review space to get reviewed, and I can't say I haven't had time. I'm not going to get into it, but I am getting back into review. I know I say this every every month when I do like one review that I'm getting back. You guys are going to see a bunch of them, and they're coming. I got this stuff here, and Sideshow. Actually, let me pad up so we take a nice good look at Cal there while I talk. Sideshow actually did something incredibly cool. Something that I was not, of course, expecting, of course, because I don't apparently thoroughly look at my emails. But the day the package came, another Sideshow package arrived with it, and it was a Hot Toy box. And I was like, why am I getting this? I was a little freaked out because I take anybody taken Ambien? I take Ambien to sleep, and it can make you do some jacked up shit sometimes. I have restarted my World of Warcraft account on Ambien, and then thought it was a dream the next day. And basically, what my wife was like, "Why didn't you let me do that?" And she said, "Oh, I was all gung ho about it. I was gonna get it for a month, and I was gonna play for that month, and then it was gonna be done." And yeah, I thought it was a dream until I came home and I saw the icon on my laptop, and I was like, "Why?" But then I paid for it, so I had to play. And then again, after 1 month, I stopped. But I went and I checked my order because I was like, what did I do? Why do I have this Hot Toy? And I actually looked at the email invoice I'd gotten, and it showed the statue, and then it showed this Hot Toy, and then it showed me getting a discount of $219, the cost of the Hot Toy. What they sent me was the Man of Steel Jor-El Russell Crowe 1/6 scale Hot Toy. And I was blown away by this. Wasn't expecting it. Of course, I would have known it was coming had I looked at my invoice because it was listed right in the email. But I was just like, hey, invoice, whatever. But yeah, I was flabbergasted, and thankfully I hadn't purchased it when I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Very, very cool, and I actually talked to a couple of the other collectors on here, and of course the one to have the information was Stuart, and he said that they had a lot of these Jor-Els that hadn't sold, and I know that I think there's like double points or something for them right now, but he was assuming that's why it happened, because of course they knew it happened. It was on the invoice list, but basically Sideshow gave me a free Jor-El Man of Steel Hot Toy, and that is very, very cool. It's in the display case. That, of course, also coming up for review. Again, and with the long list of other stuff that needs to be reviewed. Again, I've got a list. It's handwritten. It's on like 2 or 3 post-it notes of just a list of things, and it's very long. So there are reviews coming. A lot of reviews coming. But you guys have sat here and watched like 16 minutes of this video of basically just staring at the statue, and while that is good stuff, I can do that. I can just sit here and look at this thing. Let's get in. Now, I apologize, this is going to start to get shaky because of how tall this guy is. Oh yeah, I guess I could do that and get a little more height. I'm going to kind of bring it in here so we can take a look. Now, if I were to say there was one thing one gripe, I suppose, I could have about the statue is that he looks just a little bit cross-eyed. And I don't know, yeah, it's just a little bit, and it's more so it'd be his left eye. It's the eye and R right. I would say that's coming in just a little bit. But other than that, I mean, it's an amazing sculpt. You can't get much better than this face here. I'm trying to give you guys a good view of it while holding up the tripod, so I apologize for any shakiness you're getting. Of course, we've got that S, and that S does come up off of the chest. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned is that it actually is a cloth suit. He is wearing a cloth suit. The cape, of course, is resin or whatever it is they use to make it, and of course the body is, and everything else, but the suit itself is actually cloth. You can make adjustments to it, get it looking however you want it to look, however you want it to accent. I mean, you don't have a whole lot of range with it, but you've got a little bit of movement. You can do a little bit there with it. And it's very cool. I mean, that was one thing. I knew that it was a cloth suit, but to actually see it and have it in hand, and that there's just giant statues wearing an actual cloth suit, I gotta applaud Sideshow for going that way. That is very, very cool. I'm not sure about the Man of Steel premium format, but I'm pretty sure the Reeve also is going to be in cloth. Now, of course, this is a pre-New 52 Superman with his underwear of red goodness, I guess. And of course the classic, let's just call it classic red underwear, and the classic yellow belt. And as you can see, I would say the body style, to me, I mean, he looks like he's a very Alex Ross look to me. The way the head is and the body style, where as you can see, the hands, that they come up, the suit comes up a little bit, and it exposes more of the wrist. Now, the figure that we saw earlier is actually, this is a repaint. Now, they did a little bit something different with the chest, and you can actually, well, you can actually see it on here. This is the Alex Ross body style for Superman. Now, they released quite a few figures using this body style with various repaints. Now, the one thing that will be different from a lot of the other Alex Ross is actually there is generally a carved outline around the S. And taking a close look, you probably can't see it on the video, I can actually see where they filled that, and then they painted this big, huge S on here. But as you can see in the Alex Ross body style, extremely similar where the cape or the suit pulls up over that wrist, and you see a lot more of the exposed arm there in this body style than any other. I do have another Superman figure here. This one, not really up for review, but more so up for just looking cool when I review that Doomsday. You can see here more of a standard look here where it comes down just to the base of the hand. And the only figures that really do that are the more Alex Ross body styles. I can see maybe the Trinity one does a little bit. But everything else that has that Alex Ross body style, it comes up over the wrist there. Well, it exposes the wrist. It doesn't come up over it. It exposes the wrist there more. And the sleeves ride up a little bit. So I like the Alex Ross body style, so I'm not complaining about that. It's a cool look that they went through. The whole, realistic, this is a big Superman. I mean, not just in statue size, but in body stature. He's a big dude. I mean, there's leaner Supermans out there. The Hush Superman's pretty lean. The Earth 2 Superman, the joke, but lean. But this is a very, big Superman. This is not a little lean dude. This is not somebody you're going to see that you're going to think is small. And in the 90s, they had a really hard time because they went with that really huge Superman, and they really had a hard time playing the mild-mannered Clark Kent role when he was dressed as Clark, because you had to keep that size. He didn't change mass, so it was kind of funny because Clark was huge, and they had kind of gone with a little bit of different direction with Superman starting in '86 when they rebooted everything. And he was different. It was it's hard to explain. I'm not going to go into all of it, but you could see it even in Clark how huge he was, just massive. One of the things that I think displayed it most was the DC Marvel crossover. There was one where Peter Parker was working at the Daily Planet, and he had made some comment to Lois Lane, and Clark is behind him, and he's like, "Oh my God, Clark, you could squash me like a bug." And I believe that was the exact line there. And it was, he looked like Andre the Giant compared to the Man in Black and the Princess Bride. I mean, compared to Peter and Superman, just massive different in body styles. And that's the style they have here, just this massive man that that this is Superman. This is the guy that's going to just be able to just crush everything. So I'm a big fan of the way that they depicted this. I'm getting kind of rambly here, guys, and it's probably the cold, but as you can see here, it goes down into the boots, and the boots are more of a, they're not a rubber or anything. And then there's that massive cape, and as you can see here, the table I had this on isn't exactly the most steady, so I am going to rotate this, but I'm going to do it very slowly because you would hear me weeping. I'd probably edit that out, but the cape is just massive. And there's no red S in the back. Again, going to more of an Alex Ross style, because his style generally doesn't have the S in the back, at least for the most part. But that cape is just beautifully done. You can see there's even a little piece of styrofoam still on there. Well, that's shaking. So, all right, that's about ready to call that the end of that. Sorry, guys. I know I kind of rambled on this, and hopefully you enjoyed the review. I'm going to go ahead and cut right now, and then we're going to go to the display case where he is displayed. Take a quick look at that. So I will be right back. Alright guys, there he is in the case, and I gotta say, so far my least favorite thing about this statue is getting him in and out of this display case. Hopefully I do not have to do that again, or for a very long time. Just again, for size reference here, all the figures down here, really except for the Superman Dark Side, are in 1/6 scale. So you can see the huge difference between 1/4 scale and 1/6 scale. And there, of course, is that Jor-El I got for free. Again, I'm blown away by that. And there's probably stuff on this thing I really didn't talk about, and I should have in my rambling. The sculpt on the hands is just phenomenal. Really, I mean, this is one of the, I mean, they call it a premium format statue. It is one of the premier pieces to own as a Superman collector. And if you have the ability to pick this guy up, I mean, there's nothing I can say that's bad about this other than hauling him in and out of the display case for review. That's about it. And if you have the money to pick up that exclusive version with the heat vision head, I mean, more power to you. But definitely, guys, I recommend this for pickup. This, of course, is Rez the Collector. I, again, apologize for the way I rambled on in this video. There are more reviews coming. I am going to get my butt in gear. I do want to thank you, of course, for watching. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Please like and comment, and thanks for watching.